What is going on, everybody? I am Delusions, and we are picking back up right where we left off from my previous video. I told you I didn't want to make that one too long by diving into some of these arena matches. Um, Granted, I can promise you I am not going to win all of these, but we're going to finally get to test in a 1v1 environment that is more or less controlled to see if we can see any improvements in some of the changes that I have made to my Dark Lord properties, and see how we fare against some of these other contestants that are participating in the arena as well. Again, we do have a pretty stacked world server going on. They have some very high CP players that are very experienced, from what I have seen, and experienced, fighting with them and alongside them. So I think that this is the best way that we can really see if all of the work that we've been putting into this class has been paying off. So we'll go ahead and hop over. As you can see, still in sixth place. I have an 86.67% win rate, which, to be honest, had this been um, any other time, I probably would have been on top. But unfortunately, these guys are, again, they are stacked. But let's dive in and see what we can do. So, for those that don't know, before we go ahead and click this quick match, Dark Lord is not an auto casting class. So you'll see me switching in and out of skills. You'll hear the clicking on my keyboard because that's the way that I play. Normally I would like to do this on mobile, just because it's a lot easier to switch between things with my fingertips. But for the sake of the video and to bring you guys some, I would say maybe decent content, we're going to do it on the computer. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump on in here, see who our first match is. Castillo Bali. This is one from our server. So let's see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and hit auto. We're going to throw on Blessing in the Dark. Throw on our Blessed Shield, hit our Royal March. We're going to go ahead and try to stun up. It's going to proc their invincibility. We're going to run back a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and succeed in that victory there. Now we're right back at square one. All of my other skills are on cooldown right now, so we're going to lead off with just some Ignite, Wild Blow, and that put us into another bracket. So you notice that when I stepped back, that was to try to help mitigate some of that invincibility that these elves have. So once they hit 0, they gain somewhere between 5 to 9%, maybe even 10% or 10 seconds of invincibility, which is a nightmare to deal with for, I would say, any class unless you're moving around, which is another thing that I would love to see this game, involve, is a lot of keyboard movements. We've got keyboard controls for some of our skills, though be it not all of them, and it's kind of clunky when it does work. But being able to move around with WASD would be huge, and I think that would be something that would really kind of push this over the top, and may even make some of these PvP matches a lot better. Okay, so it looks like we gained a little bit on our ring, got some new additional stats going in there. So that's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start at the next one. Who do we get now? Looks like Crosby. Now, I was practicing with him earlier today. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this off just like we normally would. We're going to pop Blessing of the Dark. We've got our Blessed Shield and our Royal March. We're going to step in, and we are going to try to push some stuns a little bit. With him being a lot tankier, he puts up a heck of a fight. So now all of my cooldowns are gone. His should be right around the same, so we're going to see if we can't push this a little bit, though Dark Knight is a lot tankier than I am. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't bring this in. Looks like we were able to bring home the victory on that one. Brought us up to rank 5. Again, I don't think that I'm going to win all of these. There's still a couple oddballs in there that I think that I'm definitely not going to be able to take right now. But we're going to see what we can do as we push into our third match. We got Davian. So I don't think that I've fought him too much, but we're going to go ahead and see what he's got. So we're going to go pop our Blessed Shield, pop our Blessing in the Dark, Royal March. We're going to lead off with a heavy stun of Cracked Earth, if we can get it off. Looks like he is going to win that one, but we killed each other at the same time. I was just a little too slow on the draw to really reel that in. So let's see if we can't pull in another one. I don't know why my character just decided that it wanted to take off into outer space. So again, like I told you before, I'm not going to win all of these. I probably could have won that one if I didn't just veer off and take that left at Albuquerque. But no worries, we're going to continue to go through. Walton Tayan. Don't know if I've ever faced this guy, but he seems like he's on up there a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and pop our buffs here. One thing that I do not care too much for is that it does not start me off in auto. As you can see, being able to proc some of those skills in the background is really what I need to happen, because again, I'm having to go through and manually play all of my skills, so it really is not as simple as most classes would be. But like I said, like these guys are tough. So we're going into our 5th match now with 911. Again, I know this guy to be pretty stout, so we're going to go ahead and see what we can do to him. Pop our Blessing in the Dark, Blessed Shield, Royal March. We're going to lead off with a couple stuns here. Switch over, and we're going to see if we can't follow up with a Wild Blow. Looks like he's got some pretty decent properties of his own. Ice was able to save him for a little bit, but not forever. Looks like cooldowns are just about there. So we're going to lead off with a Wild Blow. Go in with this here. Try to stun up a little bit. No need for really the Blessed Shield on that one. Brought us up to rank 3. Okay. So we've got 5 more matches to go. Let's go ahead and dive right into those. Looks like Neo Chris is up on deck next. So this is one of the guys from my server on Atlans 6. So again, we're going to see what we can do for this guy. Again, leading off with a heavy stun. We're going to switch up for a Wild Blow, hit Ignite, see if we can't get it bursted down. Looks like that worked out pretty well. Cooldowns still going for a while, but we're going to go with Heaven's Punishment into a Wild Blow. Always forget what this skill is called, but nonetheless, we're going to try to follow up with a nice stun. Got the victory on that one. Alright, still hovering around that 3rd position. Let's see what our standings are. Okay, so it looks like the next guy is Shin. So we need to accrue 30 or 300 more points to take his spot. And again, I'm not going to be able to touch this Alvarado guy. He is way up there. But again, diving in, 4 matches to go. It looks like we got Shin this time. I know he has made a lot of progress on his account. So we're going to see if we're able to take him in this arena here. So we got Blessing in the Dark, Blessed Shield, trying to lead off with some heavy stuns. He does have some properties on this class that prevent him from dying for a moment. As you can see here, he's kind of bouncing back a little bit. We were able to take the win, but just barely. Not quite long enough for my cooldowns to completely come back, so we're going to lead off with a wild blow. Then we're going to switch back up to try to get a stun in. We're going to pop our Blessed Shield, Blessing of the Dark. Royal March has already kicked off, so that was enough to bring us over the top there. So we're going to continue on. Looks like 3 matches left. Should be able to take that second spot. Porter Bass, this is a guy from my guild here on Atlans 6. Very, very stout build on his. So we're going to go ahead and lead off like we always do. Blessing of the Dark, Blessed Shield. We're going to go with a light stun to start this one off. Switch up to a heavy blow. Back to a... yeah, that's wild, boy. We killed each other that time. Again, he's got a very explosive build on his class. Let's just see if we're able to counter that. And it looks like I was not able to hang in there, but now we're starting back off on a clean slate. Got all of our cooldowns ready to go. Blessed Shield, Blessing of the Dark, Royal March. Going to lead off with a heavy stun on this one. Switch it up to Wild Blow, back to stun, and surprisingly enough, we were able to pull off that win. So we're still stuck at rank 3 for our world server with, I believe, 2 matches left to go. So looks like we collected some more rewards, which, surprising enough, not bad rewards on here. I noticed that there is a chat bubble on here, so I'm assuming that that's just a little cosmetic thing. This thing caught my curiosity, this lightning gold. I haven't seen that on the cast iron upgrades yet. But nice little addition, extra rewards to come in. So let's go ahead and start this off with our last 2 matches. We've got the big boy himself, Alvarado. I do not feel like I am going to be able to take this guy whatsoever, but we're going to see. So we're going to lead off with Blessing of the Dark. We've got Blessed Shield. We've got Royal March going light stun. Try to start off with that. Okay, coming back. Looks like Ignite. I don't think that we're going to be able to do much with him just because his class is just so tanky. Heaven's Punishment leading off, Wild Blow. I'm going to go in with a light stun to see if we can't get anything off on this guy. Maybe a heavy, maybe pop a Blessed Shield. Blessing of the Dark. Royal March is already doing its thing. We're coming back through. Still, he has got so much going on for his class right now that I just cannot push past it. I know some other guys, especially some of these Dark Knights, are able to kind of hang in there a little bit longer than I can. But again, very solid build on his right now. Though with that almost 20 million combat power difference between he and I, as well as his defense being 392,000, 180,000 defense success rate. Like, this guy, he's got it all. He's pushing 700 to 1,000,000 and just min-maxing on his damage. So I mean, he's got a lot going. But let's go ahead and wrap this up with our final match here against Darkwizzy. I think I've fought this guy in the past a couple times, so we're going to see if we can still bring out a victory on him. I believe we should be able to, so again, leading off with Blessing of the Dark, popping Blessed Shield, got Royal March going. Let's go for a light stun on this one, switch up Wild Blow, back to a heavy stun. My big thing is if I can get them to, all of their main cooldowns popped, it will make my job a lot easier on the back end, because Dark Lord can really dish out a lot of burst damage that can really tank people down. But again, it's all in how you have your class built. So as you can see, we brought ourselves up to world rank number 2. Still in that bronze tier. We weren't able to break through to silver. But again, look at the difference on the CP between he and I. It's quite on up there. So once finals get here, I really hope that this is not my first round pick who I get matched up with, because that would mean that I would then in turn probably end up getting knocked out before I even get to participate in a lot of it. That being said, I think that covers us for the most part on arenas. Uh, if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, this is all new to me as well, so I may not have all the answers, but I can definitely put you in touch with the people that are going to be able to provide you those. Um, but another thing that I did think was pretty cool before we conclude this video is that you see all of these players on here. Every single one of these is the top person in their respected class. So for the E&E mages, looks like Alvarado is there. Looks like Shin is coming up with our AGI mage. Castillo Bali is stepping in with AGI elf. And then our very own Hensley Katie from my guild is there with first E&E elf, which I kind of expected that to go to someone else, but that's okay. So E&E Dark Lord is going to be Davidson Sam, who again is from our guild. And then myself bringing up the Strength Dark Lord. Porter Bass, which should have made it on here. I believe he is. No. Okay, so Porter didn't make it on this list just yet. But Crosby Paka from Atlans 9, super cool dude, bringing up top spot for Strength Strength Death Knight. Davian, bringing it up for the E&E Dark Knight. So all these guys are number one in their position for a reason. So I'm anxious to see how all of the rest of this arena season plays out, going into finals and seeing what we can do to kind of stir things up and maybe bring home a first, second, or third spot for our server. But with that being said, thank you all guys for tuning in. You take the time to watch my videos, and I don't think that I thank you guys enough, but seriously, all this started out as just for fun, and here I am trying to provide weekly, bi-weekly updates on how I'm doing, what's going on in the game. So please, again, if you've got anything that I missed, if you want me to touch on something different, let me know. I'd be happy to try to bring in some outside people to do something like this with as well. But with that, I am Delusions, and I am out. Thanks, guys.